Hello class, today we're going to have a lecture on radar tracking techniques. As we all know that in a previous lectures and previous presentation I've discussed about the basic operation of radar and what is the purpose of using a radar. Radar is basically used for radio detection and ranging. And today we are going to see in this lecture and basically visualize and study in this lecture that how radar is basically used for tracking the targets. Tracking means how to track, how to find out a way to get to reach up till a target. So that is the main purpose of today's presentation, and we're going to visualize this thing in our today's lecture. Before tracking, we need to know about the scanning techniques also that we have discussed in our previous lecture, that various scanning techniques where we basically scan the area over which we are going to use or where we're going to track our target. So let's start the introduction of tracking system and tracking radar system. Basically, tracking radar system are used to measure the targets, range, azimuth angle, elevation angle, and velocity. Till now you would be very much clear about the target range. What is the range or what is the distance of the target from the radar? Azimuth angle means the angle which is made with the horizontal plane horizontally, which is lying with the horizontal plane. Elevation angle means the angle is made with a vertical plane from the target axis, and the velocity of the target and radar. Predict the future values. Target tracking is important to military and civilian purposes as missile guidance and airport traffic control. For military purposes, basically used for the the missiles and military purposes, and for civilian purposes used for airports, used in airports for the traffic control for the movement of the airplanes. Then we have the targets. Basically we are talking about a single target over here. When we need to have a single target, there is only one target, and for detection of a single target we apply these various angle tracking techniques. The first one is sequential lobing, then we apply a conical scanning and a monopulse tracking technique. We also used range tracking systems in this presentation. Then next is our presentation on relation between beam width and accuracy. Now what do you mean by a beam width? Beam width means the mouth. How is the actual opening of a mouth of the antenna? Because as we all know that the higher the beam width, the higher the mouth, higher the intensity of the beam that is being scattered from the antenna mouth. So if the beam width is very small, if the beam width is less, then the accuracy increases. If the beam width of antenna is small, if it is precise, then the accuracy of the antenna increases. As we can visualize in this diagram very well, that the beam width is very much high in the ship A. This is the radar, and the beam width is very high. The beam width high means there is a possibility of scattering of that signal, and the scattering enhances the less accuracy. And in ship B we have the less beam width, that means we have a narrow beam and we have the more accuracy. So pencil beam, what do you mean a pencil beam? In tracking process, radar used narrower beams, because as we all know that the narrower beams are very much accurate. They are very focused, they are not scattered, and they are very much focused about 3 to 4 degrees. There is only deviation of 3 to 4 degrees, not more than that. So that is much more accurate as compared to the larger beam width antennas. Then is a line of sight axis. Line of sight axis basically lies between the positioning of the beams, two positioning of the beam. There is one target axis or the main axis. This we can visualize over. This is our target, and this should be your main axis. But it is the main axis is rotating between the two beams, beam position 1, beam position 2, but it is not exactly lying upon the main target axis. So line of sight is basically used for the communication between the antenna and the target. There should be not tilting of that antenna. So in this diagrammatic representation, we are basically explaining that we are having antenna tilt controls. We can tilt the antennas accordingly to the positioning of the target. where the target is lying, we can accordingly tilt our antennas. We have a switch 1 and switch 2. Switch 1 is used for beam position 1, switch 2 is used for the beam position 2, and we can accordingly tilt our antenna mechanically in order to set it over the target. This is a display where it is used for the displaying of the target. Okay, next is the error signal. Now, how the error signal is being detected in this process? Error signal basically describes how the target has deviated from the beam main axis. How the target has been deviated from the beam main axis. They are trying to produce zero error signal, azimuth and elevation error. How much is the elevation error and what is the azimuth error that is being detected in our signals. So they are trying to produce a zero error signal is the most accurate radar basically. Now error signal, zero error signal means the target actually it is lying exactly over the, as we can see over here, when the beam will exactly lie upon this target axis. The main beam is actually lying over this target, then it means that it is no error. The error has been removed. That is a zero error signal that I'm talking about. And azimuth and elevation errors are removed when they are actually when there is a deviation of the target from the horizontal plane or from the vertical plane. They can be removed by tilting, by giving a tilt to the antenna in the horizontal or in the elevation on the vertical planes, so that we can have a zero error probability. Single target. Single targets, we are talking about sequential lobing. The first single target detecting technique is sequential lobing. Sequential lobing is basically sequentially we are lobing or we are moving the axis of the antenna from one beam to the other beam so that it can lie exactly upon the main target axis. So accuracy, again, it depends upon the pencil beam. The narrower the beam is, the more accurate the processing of the signal becomes. It is very simple to implement, very simple technique basically. It doesn't include much more tactic techniques or much more complicated techniques. This is one of the SCR-260. It is one of the most common implemented sequential lobing radar system for tracking of the targets. Concept of operation is measuring the difference between the echo signal voltage levels. What is the difference between the echo signal voltage levels that we are going to discuss, or we can do to visualize in this operation of this radar system? As we can see in this diagram, we have the two positions, beam position A and beam position B. We have the main beam axis. The beam axis lie for each and every beam that is being produced for the two positions of the radar display. So we can see position A, we have the main beam axis, position B is having the another beam axis, but the actual tracking axis is somewhere else. It is lying in between the two beams, that is lying exactly over the target axis. And we want our beam to be over the tracking axis. So difference between the echo signal voltage in A and B equals 0, that means zero error signal. When the difference between the two echo signals between the beam position A and beam position B becomes 0, then that is your mean zero error signal. And when it is going to become 0? It will be 0 when it is lying exactly over the tracking axis. When the two beams lie exactly over the tracking axis, then that means it will have a mean zero error signal at that moment of time. So when the target is being off the LOS, so when the target is exactly not lying over the line of sight. Now this tracking axis is actually a line of sight, which is lying exactly over the antenna and the target. But the target is now beyond the line of sight, is not in the line of sight position. Then what we can do to position it? Now signal position A, we attenuate more than signal position B. That means the non-zero error signal. Now as the target is lying near to position A as compared to position B, the signal position A will attenuate more in signal, more than in signal position B. Attenuation produced in positioning A will be more because the tilting of the target is more towards the position A. So that is why the tilting will be more, and the beam return will also be more. You can see in this pulse waveform shapes, the beam return is more, having a higher shape as compared to beam return B. So this was your this was your sequential lobing, where we exactly mechanically, or we can exactly positioning our two beams so that they can lie upon the tracking axis, so that we can have our access with the target on behalf of line of sight communication. But when it's not possible, sometimes it's not possible to have a line of sight communication or line of sight signaling of the target for each and every target. So for that reasons, we need to switch on to other kind of tracking technique, that is your conical scanning. Conical scanning is an extension of sequential lobing. Sequential lobing, which we discussed in our previous slides, sequential lobing was when the positioning of beam was exactly switching between 1 and 2 positions. Now we are using conical scanning, in which we are having a feet of antenna which is rotating around the antenna axis. It's actually rotating, it having a squint angle which is made between the tracking axis and the beam axis, and that squint angle is actually rotating around the antenna axis. Now this is the mechanical system or the servo motor kind of system, servo mechanism system, which is being utilized in our conical scanning process. AGC is automatic gain control. It is used to reduce the echo signal amplitude if it is strong and raises it when it's weaker. So it is automatic gain control. When it's very high, it reduces it, and when it is very low, it makes it high. But the echo signals, because echo signals are basically giving us the exact values or exact range of the targets. So we are having the servo motor drives. We are using servo motor scan references. We are using duplexers. We are using elevation error detectors. We are using azimuth error detectors, envelope detectors, mixers, transmitters, and servo amplifiers. As we can see over here, we are using the elevation error detector and the azimuth error detector. Now these two, as we have already discussed, elevation and azimuth are the detectors which are used to detect the errors in the vertical or the horizontal planes. So whatever the target is away from the line of sight or from the tracking axis in the horizontal or in the vertical planes, they can be removed. The error can be removed by using this elevation and the azimuth error detectors. The mixer signals will produce a mixing of the two beam axes. Transmitter will exactly transmit the signal. Duplexer will transmit and receive the signals from the radar. And servo motor drive will exactly position our target over the tracking axis. So amplitude compression monopole. This is the third and last compression technique is used for this tracking of radar. This type is more accurate than sequential. This is the most accurate kind of a tracking technique. It is a feed generated in which we are using the 4 beams simultaneously with a single pulse. This is basically 4 beams are simultaneously transmitted with a single pulse. The 4 beams are in phase but have a different amplitudes. They are in phase, but the amplitude of each and every beam is different. This is one of the monopulse tracking, precision tracking radar which was being used primitively. This is the horn antenna generate 4 beams. This is the actual implemented radars using the monopulse radar systems. Now 4 beam shapes. This is the 4 beams which are being exactly, because as we all know, the 4 beams are having a different amplitude. They are in phase but they have a different amplitude. As we can see it in the diagram also, we have A, B, C and D, and all of these 4 beams are having different amplitudes. This is simplified amplitude comparison with the monopulse radar block diagrams. We are using a hybrid beam forming network, duplexers, transmitter, mixers, IF amplifiers, phase detectors and amplitude detectors for detection and the calculation of phase. This is the radar comparing the amplitude and phase of all the echo signals of target. When the target is out of line of sight, then its positioning is changing. Then the last part was the range tracking system. The range is calculated by the velocity of light and the distance which is being calculated. Early gate, late gates produces positive voltage and negative voltage, subtraction and voltage outputs. This is the output displays for the range targets.